So I know you've written an article for the Orange and Brown Report. What should the Browns' number one goal be for the 2024 season, do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious. I think everybody knows that, but you have to win your division. You win the division this year, and you would have played a home game. And we know the Browns were 8-1 at home, and you wouldn't have been going down to Houston to play. I don't know if Houston, they probably, if the Browns had the number one seed, you could probably argue that they would have been playing at home against the Ravens or somebody like that. And I like the Browns' chances much better at home in late season. And so I know that's a given. Everybody wants to win the division, but when you look at it, with all the injuries, you finished 2 games behind the Ravens, and the Ravens, as it turned out, had the best record in the AFC, and the Browns were tied with a couple other teams. And so 2 games, you look back, you can say the injuries, you can find 2 games they should have won if they would have had proper or competent backup quarterback play, even with the injuries. So I just say you play 6 games in the division. You I think you went 3-3. That last game, you thought it was going to mean something, but you played, you rested for the playoffs, so you lost, with an injured, Joe Burrow. You lost the Bengals, but all things being equal, I just think I don't know how you do that more than anything, but the emphasis has to be on the division, AFC North, because that home game in the playoffs, the 2 Super Bowl teams were both division champions. The Final Four teams were division champions. So that tells you all you need to know is that gives you, like, look at the Ravens' path. They got the bye, and then they got the numbers, well, I guess it was number 4 seed because they won the division, but they were the weakest division winner at home, win that game, and then you win 1 game, you beat the Chiefs, and you're in the Super Bowl. So it's definitely the NFL has set up that path now because it's more important to win the division than to have necessarily the best record because you can see that second best record got you a road game, in the 5 seed. So I just think, especially the way the schedule's been coming out, I can almost guarantee you they'll open with the Steelers or the Bengals, maybe the Ravens. And it might even be at home because they just announced a big concert, Billy Joel and I think Rod Stewart, the second weekend on a Friday night. So you'd almost think there's no way the Browns are going to play a home game the next day or 2 days after that. That's just my thinking. So I would think they open at home and then they go on the road. So you got to put all your sights. You can argue back last year, they put the emphasis and beat the Bengals at home, but then they went over and lost to the Steelers. Think about how important that turned out. If you would have won that game, obviously you lost Nick Chubb and all the emotion, but that went a long way. You would have beat the Steelers in that second game, you'd been 2-0 in the division, and I think that would have changed things all the way around.